Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare
Jaya
Hare
Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva No, I thought you wanted to see. No, it's finished. You can sing for like,
You're getting this. You're sticking like this cat. You're not in lots of shoes.
I can try.
ยังไงNamaste Narashringaya Namaste Narasingaya Namaste Narashimhaya Namaste Narasringaya Namaste Narashringaya Namaste Narasringaya Pralada Ladadaine Pralada Ladadaine Pralada Ladadaine Hiranyakashiburvakshaha Hiranyakashiburvakshaha Shilatankana Kalahe Shilatankana Kalahe Shilatankana Kalahe Ito Nishimha Parato Nishimha Narsingho Parato Narsingho Ito Nishimha Parato Nishimha Narsingho Parato Narsingho Yato Yato Yamitato Nishinga Yato 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 Yamitato Nishima Yato Yato Yamitato Nishima Vaye Nishimha Hridaye Nishimha Vaye Nishimha Hridaye Nishimha Narashingamadim Sharanam Prapadye Narashingamadim Sharanam Prapadye Narashingamadim Sharanam Prapade Narashingamadim Sharanam Prapade Tava karakamala bhare nakam adbud shringam dalita hiranya kashipu Tanobringam Keshabadirta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Avakara Kamala Bhare Adbuddha Shringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanobringam Keshabadirta Nararupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare O Tava Karakama Bhare Nakam Adbuddha Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanobringam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kamala Bhare Nakama Buddha Shringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipur Tanobringam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare O Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Nishringadev 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 Jaya Nishringadev Jayo Nishringadev 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 Jaya Nishringadev 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 Jaya Nishringadev Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo, Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jayo, Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jayo, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jayo, Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Anitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Anitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Anitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura 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 Haribo. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Nitai Gaura Premanande.
Hare Krishna. Wow, wow, wow. What vibrance, what energy. What a way to start off the weekend. Am I right? Absolutely recharging for the week. So if each and every one of you all are feeling recharged by this very vibrant kirtan that started tonight's program, shout out Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. You see, that's why we need you all here. Can you see how good you guys are? So a very big thank you to our Kirtan team, Balkrishna, Xavier, our wonderful Mridanga players, and every one of you that clapped along, sang along. Chanson Prabhu joins us all the time for Namahata. A very big thank you to you as well. Yes, a wonderful way to start off our program. So a very warm welcome to this evening's Namahata program on behalf of the La Mercy Namahata International Society for Krishna Consciousness, founded by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. A very warm welcome. Can you believe we're already in June? Pretty soon, June will be over, and we will be entering our 10th campaign as well next month. So lots to look forward to. And once again for always coming to our Namahata and giving us support. So this evening, it is my absolute honor and privilege in introducing our speaker for today, and that is Bhaktin Shruti. So let's give her a round of applause, a very big warm welcome. So Shruti has come to our before. For many of us, we know her, but for those of you that don't know her, she has been a lifelong member of ISKCON and is an aspiring disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami. In the secular world, she is a qualified physiotherapist who works in the educational field with children and teenagers with disabilities. She has interests in kirtan and youth development, and has served as part of the youth group in ISKCON Phoenix. She is a student at the Bhaktivedanta College of Education and Culture. She strives to serve her family and community and empower young devotees to deepen their bhakti. So once again, a very warm welcome to you, Shruti. Thank you for joining us this evening, and we're absolutely looking forward to your amazing class. And yes, Tuesday was a Youth Day, and we are celebrating Youth Month for the month of June. So it's so wonderful to see a young lady sitting and giving us this wonderful class that we're about to have. And happy Youth Day to all the children sitting here as well.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Can we have a lovely round of applause for Mataji, please? So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, to each and every one of you, thank you so much for taking time out of your Fridays and being here. There's a very cold night, but all I can feel is the warmth of the devotees around me. So Mataji did such a wonderful job introducing me, but chiefly, above everything that Mataji said, is that I believe I am a servant. And that's what we strive to do, to serve. Oh. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, the topic for this week's Namahata is actually going to be, how do we serve with love? And we view the service as the way to Krishna's heart. That's what Mataji asked us to meditate on, to speculate on a little bit. So let's start with a few invocation prayers. If you could all bow your heads and fold your hands, please. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tatati Swabadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Shuta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. With love, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, dear devotees, you heard Mataji say, in the real world, I'm a physiotherapist. That means I give prescriptions to my patients. Very often it's ones that they don't like to do. It's exercises. They'll do it in front of me. They'll come back next time and say, oh, what's that? A lot of time, this material body, this material mind is very much like this prescription situation. We don't readily do what we are supposed to or what's good for us. We tend to stick to the easy part, the comfortable part. So I pose a question to you. How do you love Krishna? What is the easiest way that you love Krishna? Savior Prabhu? What is a way that you love Krishna or show love to Krishna? Through kirtan. Lovely. Lovely. Any other variations? Perhaps cooking prasadam, perhaps reading Prabhupada's books. The point I'm trying to get at is there are many, many ways that we can love Krishna. And we love him through the act of service. So, I think I have forgotten before I started to sing Jai Radha Madhava. So we'll do that before we go any further. Please forgive me. Can you play cartels for me, please? If you could play. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vandachari Jai Radha Madhav ki Jai. Okay, so I think that is example number 1 of how the mind can move without us noticing. So now that we've invoked their blessings, let's talk about some serious stuff. Now to get to the prescriptions, right? So today we're going to talk about a few things, the essential questions, the what, the why, and the how of devotional service. So we know of devotional service, we perform it every day, our lives are built around it in many cases. But the question I ask to you is that, are we doing this service on autopilot, or is it coming attached with the love that we need to put into it? So, today, we're going to talk about mechanical versus intentional action. Serving the Lord out of duty and routine, or serving the Lord based on the love that you have for Him. So the first verse I have for you to consider is from Bhagavad Gita, from chapter 18, verse 55. And I'm going to say it and read the translation, and we'll talk about the purport a little bit. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvata tato mam tadvato jnatva vishate tad antaram. One can understand me as I am, as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So this is Krishna speaking to Arjuna on the battlefield in the Bhagavad Gita. So this is coming directly from Krishna. This is the how. This is the how that you do it. Prabhupada's purport, he says that Krishna will reveal through their love. Knowledge of Krishna is not gained through mental speculation, esoterical knowledge, or secular study methods. It's solely gained through engaging in devotional service that we can hope to understand who and what He is. So Srila Prabhupada is pretty clear in this purport that it's not through the practice of sitting still and considering that we find Krishna, that we will love Krishna. It's through the act of doing, of that physical propeller that will get you to move closer to Krishna. And the reason that it's the physical propeller is because it is out of love. If you consider it, love has a very central place in most all aspects of our lives. Why do I watch that TV show every day? Oh, because I love watching it, because I love the humor. Why do I go to see the sunrise? Because I love the colors. Why do I avoid mopping the floor? Because I don't love it. Many, many things we do, the motivation of them, what we call motivation, what we call inspiration, is actually the varying shades of love in our lives. And it's the same with Krishna Prem. So devotional service, if you look at it in this lens, is actually the ultimate act of love. Because what are we doing? We are working for our beloved, who is Krishna. And the very definition of a devotee is actually that they are engaged eternally in service. This is including all the menial service, cooking, cleaning, chopping vegetables at the back, sankirtan, book distribution. All of these are devotional service. And they also include things like embodying the mood and the characteristics of a Vaishnava. Kindness, tolerance, willingness to hear new perspectives. All of these, and there's a lovely list of characteristics which we won't go into of a Vaishnava, but all of these are the characteristics that we are supposed to emulate and embody as Vaishnavas. And we do have very good attempts at it. We make very good attempts at it. We go to temple routinely. We do our service. We engage with the devotees. But sometimes in this material world, it becomes easy to forget that the purpose of all of these things is not just the routine and responsibility. It's that it's a deeper spiritual growth that you're working towards. So in this verse, Krishna confirms that he's only achieved by love. So how do we practice loving him? So Krishna says to Arjuna, one who claims to be my devotee is not so. Only the person who claims to be the devotee of my devotees is actually my devotee. So there's a famous phrase that we always repeat to try to embody this mood. It's Das Anu, right, which means the servant of my servant, of the servant of the servant. Now, Krishna is explicitly saying to Arjuna here that it is not through aiming to achieve him directly that you will achieve bhakti. It is through aiming to serve the devotees fully, because Krishna and his devotees are one and the same. And a nice way to understand the act of devotional service is a stone dropping into a still lake. What happens when you drop a stone in a lake? It creates ripples. Now, at first, these ripples start out small, they start out timid, just in the area of the stone. But given enough time, given enough room to spread, these ripples grow, they spread to all corners of the lake, such that every part of this body of water has changed, has been touched momentarily by this ripple. And this is to say that small targeted actions actually reaches the furthest, further than we can conceptualize. In the Western world, there's this effect called the butterfly effect. We know it? It's a phrase that means one flap of a butterfly's wings, small, insignificant to our size, actually has the power through cumulative change to impact hundreds, millions, impact many different world events. These metaphors can be applied to us. When you're talking about the mood of devotional service, you're talking about small, targeted changes that you make in order to ripple. And this ripple doesn't just affect you. It affects the people around you, the perception of the devotees, the mood of the devotees. It affects the people who are coming into temple and witnessing the Vaishnavas and observing how this community is. It affects the way that devotees perform their services. So, in our conditioned minds, it's easier said than done to just implement a change. How many of us have said, okay, I'm gonna wake up at 3 a.m. tomorrow. I'm gonna do all my japa. I'm gonna go to Mangal Aarti. I'm gonna cook breakfast, lunch, and supper for the Lord. And we go to sleep, and all of that good intention evaporates in our dreams. That is the nature of Maya. Maya Devi is very good at her job. She is one of Krishna's topmost servants in that way. Our job as Vaishnavas is to actually create room for this in our lives, to create room for Krishna. So, to change that resistance that our minds have, we need to build habits. So habits in bhakti, the wonderful, wonderful thing about being in Krishna consciousness is that we are very scientifically oriented. The language changes, the prescription changes, but the science of the Vedas, modern science is only now catching up to it. So in our modern world, it's a very buzz topic now to talk about optimization, efficiency, habits, all of these concepts that streamline our consciousness, streamline our actions to not waste any energy. In fact, Bhakti has been talking about creating habits since before this optimization was even a word in the dictionary. So we can actually integrate the modern concepts that we've caught up on into how we practice bhakti into our lives. The modern way we define habits is a small change applied over a consistent period of time. And once you've achieved that consistency, you remove friction and then you're able to achieve repetition and refinement. So there's a nice verse from Bhagavad Gita, again, chapter 18, verse 65. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madyaji mam namaskuru mam evaishyashi satyam te pratijane priyo sime. And this verse, Krishna is saying, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus, you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Now, imagine Krishna is giving you a guarantee. I'm not sure about your 5-year warranty, your 10-year warranties, but I think there's nothing more I would trust than the Supreme Lord saying that I promise you that you will come to me when you think of me, become my devotee, worship me. He's setting out this path for us. And Srila Prabhupada in this purport is a very beautiful purport. I do recommend you read it if you have some time. Srila Prabhupada says in this purport, Krishna should be at the center of our lives. A devotee will make not just room for Krishna around our material lives, we will make him the central point of our lives. A devotee will always make the chance to think of him. We will create all activities built to serve him and have our mind engaged 24 hours of the day in his glories, in his service. Sounds like a lot. Sounds like a lot. There's already a lot to think about in material life. And a lot of times when we read scripture, it can seem a little bit vague, but what we need to realize, what I've realized rather, is that it's not vague. It simply needs your context. And there are a few ways that we can add context to what Srila Prabhupada is saying here, to be Krishna at the center. And we'll go through them now. The first one, you guys are going to love. It's everybody's favorite pastime, prasad. So with prasadam, it is a very dear topic to us. Naturally, we all love the sense of taste. We love the sense of community. We love the sense of being together and the belonging that it gives us. When you take prasad with somebody, you become family. Krishna Prasadam is actually very special. And when you integrate prasadam into your life, you will notice that your bhakti becomes much more accessible. So one of the ways that we keep Krishna at the center of our lives is aiming to always eat Krishna Prasadam, both offering prasad and taking prasadam, aiming more for prasad than non-prasad. And one of the things I want to emphasize here is that prasadam, we should always try to take it with gratitude in mind. Because as much as it's our physical bodies taking the ingredients, preparing them, cooking them, eating them, it's actually Krishna who has made these provisions to give us this prasadam. The second one, and one of the concrete base pillars of our bhakti, is actually japa. So with japa, if you've read the 10 offenses, of more than one of them mention how to chant and why you should chant and what you should be chanting with the intention of. It's important to remember here that japa is your time with Krishna. It's your one-on-one time, or it's supposed to be. I admit, I also fall victim to the trap of putting my bead bag on my hand and letting my mind wander. What's for lunch? What do I need to do today? Oh, there's a chip in that table. I'll fix that later. But we shouldn't do that, because what we're actually doing, the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Can anybody tell me what the meaning of that mantra is? Thank you. That, please engage me in your loving devotional service. In fact, that time that we are chanting is not the 2 hours we get to set out in our day. That time we are chanting is a plea for Krishna to give us this devotional service. And it's actually an amazing thing when you open your heart and your mind up to it. Krishna makes so many bids for your attention in the day. Be it an Instagram video of darshan, be it looking at one of the books in the Lord's room and thinking, that's interesting, I remember that. Be it engaging with his devotees. Krishna pops his head up in every aspect of your life. And sometimes, unfortunately, we are considering ourselves too busy to respond to it. That is why my third point in bhakti, reading, is so important. And I'll say this encompasses darshan. Taking darshan of the Lord through Srila Prabhupada's books chiefly is the most important. And speaking specifically to the younger generation, reading Srila Prabhupada's books is very, very important for our ages because it allows you to learn more about what you are connecting to. Including Instagram darshan, including hearing classes on YouTube, including going to programs. All of these things are getting to learn more about Krishna. And the reason why I stress to learn more about Krishna is that how can you love something that you don't know? How can I love sewing? Why? Because I know how to make the stitches to make it look nice. I love cooking. Why? Because I've learned how the ingredients come together and the techniques to make this recipe. And it's so the results are fruitful, are good. Similarly, the reading gives you that knowledge. That knowledge will ultimately give you the understanding. And understanding means that you can actually come to the point of love, not duty, love, actual love. So, those three things, which are one, what's the first one I said? Prasadam. 2, and 3, reading. Very good. A+ to everybody. Through these things, we create space for Krishna in our lives. And remember I said at the beginning of when we talked about habits, the key to creating habits is actually reducing friction in our lives. Some of the ways we can do this is, for example, set a time in the morning after you've finished your bath and your morning responsibilities. Set 5 minutes out to read a verse from Bhagavad Gita. After you've come from school or if you come from work, you offer something small to Krishna. Even if it's not a full offering, offer it in your mind to Krishna and give him that gratitude and thanks. Give him that space in your day, in your lives. And gradually you'll see, even if they're very, very small changes, micro changes as we call them, you'll increase the volume of Krishna in your life. So a little bit of physics. When you decrease the friction, you increase the volume and you increase the capacity to serve Krishna in your lives. So, how many of you have gardened here? I garden. Right. So at least some of us are familiar with how gardening works. For the rest of us, we've seen trees grow and mature, right? So tell me, how long does it take a fruit tree to grow? Couple days, couple months, couple years? Years is a very long time to wait, right? Sometimes bhakti can seem like a fruit tree. So some fruit trees, they start off as sticks in the ground. There's just a brown stick in the ground, and you've got to water it every day. You've got to make sure it's got enough nutrients. You've got to make sure it's got enough space to grow, that there's no pests on it. And you watered it for months, and it's just a brown stick in the ground. And you keep watering it, It's just a brown stick. Okay, fine. The ground around it is like, okay, neat. You can see there's no other plants growing, there's roots. But then one day, before you realize it, there's some leaves sprouting out. And you're like, okay, cool, something is happening. It's not dead yet. But you have to keep watering it now. Come on, months have gone by. When am I going to get to eat this apple, man? And you keep watering it. You're diligent. You are good gardeners, so you keep watering it. And eventually the tree grows big. The trunk gets larger. The leaves grow more. It's able to get strong enough to bear fruit. And all you did was water the base. It's not like you made the fruit grow. All you did was be consistent. You showed up. You gave it nutrition. You gave it time. Similar to the roots of the tree, you need to nurture your bhakti, is what Krishna is saying. When you were busy watering the ground, waiting for the tree to grow, the roots were deepening. They were spreading out. They were anchoring. And as the tree grew, it grew strong enough to bear the fruits, which is Krishna Prem. So ultimately, we're talking about the concept of delayed gratification. Are we familiar? Delayed gratification, which I'm sure you'll feel at the end of my class as we wait for prasadam. So delayed gratification is a concept that means that the benefit of waiting outweighs the benefit of immediately doing something. Waiting for the butter paneer sauce to cook down. Waiting for prasadam to eat when you are properly hungry. Waiting for program to start so you can enjoy the class, enjoy the kirtan. All of these things are building your capacity to be patient for that. And when you delay gratification, it's kind of like a muscle. So how muscles work is that you use it or lose it. When you are used to giving yourself immediately what you want, tolerating a wait becomes very difficult. But when you start increasing in small amounts the amount of waiting, the amount of inconvenience you're able to tolerate, you get stronger. The wait doesn't seem so torturous. The wait doesn't seem so long. In this way, it's accumulating the results of the repeated action. And we go right back to building habits. This is how you build habits. So even though it seems as though this change is difficult, this change is not bearable, that is not a sign that you're not able to do it. It's a sign that you need to start smaller. Because whenever you face a barrier in any activity you're trying to do, the barrier is not a sign of inability. The barrier is a sign that you need to change your context. So, more than the result in bhakti, and this is the beautiful thing, is actually the process. So you've delayed your gratification and now it's a better result for you. But more than that, you've gained the patience, you've gained the wisdom along the way. That is the important part here. And when you're talking about gaining things, a lot of times we think about inspiration or motivation as something that comes up spontaneously. But in fact, it's a series of accumulated habits and competencies that you've built over the years, over the time that you've been working on this action. And the result is consistent progress, something you can keep up. For example, I increased my rounds from 2 rounds to 4 rounds the next month, 4 rounds to 6 rounds the next month. And by the end of the year, would you look at that, 16 rounds. So what went through my mind when we were talking about this class is that what do I do in the meantime? from the time I need to start doing this difficult thing now to when I'm actually able to do it, what do I do? How do I become a devotee? I've got so many flaws. I'm not practicing this as nicely as I know I should be. And the answer to that deficit between the practice and the result is to embody who you want to be. So a lot of the time we talk about Vaishnav characteristics. And that means that a Vaishnav is always coming from the position of who am I? Who am I really? And what does that entail for my behavior, for my actions, for what I spend my time on? And in this time that we're working on changing these habits, increasing our love for Krishna, building that muscle, what we can do is act like it. Fake it till you make it, right? So a lot of time that you have to ask yourself, are we being mindful of what we are doing? Am I being mindful about what am I going to say something? Is it what a Vaishnav would say? And you get these bracelets. A lot of the Christian community have them. They say WWJD. In our case, it would be WWDD. What would a devotee do? Because in this journey, and believe me, it's a continuing journey to develop this love of Krishna, we have to emulate the behavior that we see of people who have already reached that goal. For example, you see the senior devotees greeting new people in the temple room. You go up, you greet them, you ask if they need assistance. You see the devotees putting away the chairs. You go and help. You see a Prabhu or Mataji struggling with a task. You say, oh, you know what, can I assist? All of these behaviors are things that you do out of love. And while we are waiting for that love to manifest through our consistent changes, the thing to do is to behave as if we already have it. And slowly, gradually, very gradually, in my case, you'll notice that love will shine through in the moments that you don't expect it to. You will hear a Sunday class and say, oh, I know this pastime, I heard it before, and you'll pay attention. You will be in kirtan and you say, oh, I've heard this tune before, and you'll be more connected to this. You will go in the back and help clean vegetables and say, oh, I know how to cut a cauliflower, let's go. In that way, emulating this behavior, and to emulate means to copy or to replicate. Emulating that behavior is the way you fill that space between what we see as genuine love, as in perceiving the feeling, and the practice of it all. So let's talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness, also a buzzword in modern times, and it's come as a direct response to the hustle and bustle of a capitalist world where we're expected to make money, to do all of these different things, have families, have it all. Mindfulness in the modern world is a concept that says basically, slow down, think about what's going on, You don't have to do so much. Krishna consciousness has been saying this, except our definition of it is that not that slow down, take it out from your day, don't do so much, is that you fill that space with Krishna. So, a devotee is always aware of their position as a devotee of Krishna, as being Krishna conscious. And there are three things that you should ask yourself, 3 checkpoints, if you will. Am I saying what a devotee would say? Am I spending time doing what a devotee would be doing? And who am I surrounding myself with that a devotee would do it? At this way, these are very useful questions to ask yourself when it comes to dealing with both devotees and people in the secular world. You ask yourself, before you speak, you pause, you check in, you say, would a devotee say this? Is this respectful? Is it polite? Is it in accordance to what Krishna says we should do? What am I spending time doing? Am I engaging myself in Krishna's service? Or am I willing to be content with mundane service? And who am I surrounding myself with? Because one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself as a Vaishnav, as an aspiring devotee, would be to surround yourself with Krishna's devotees. Excuse me. And the wonderful thing about devotees is that just by being in their company, you will absorb their mood, you will absorb their dedication. And the last thing I want to point out is that there's a lovely verse in Bhagavad Gita, and it's a very often quoted verse. Patram pushpam palanto yam yome bhaktya prayachati tad aham bhakti uparatam ashnami prayatat tatmana. If one offers me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. That's strange, isn't it? We know Krishna is all opulent. He is all powerful. He has everything. In fact, everything here belongs to him. What use does he have? Why does he want a simple cup of water? What will he do with the leaf? He has everything. But what we need to focus on here is bhakti uparatam, with love and devotion, filled with love and devotion. What Krishna wants is not the physical aspect. He does not want you to give it up for him. He does not want you to offer grand gestures empty. What he wants is the love behind the action. He wants a simple cup of water given with full devotion, wanting to take care of him. He wants the sincerity behind your offerings. He wants the dedication behind your services. He wants the commitment and surrender behind your actions. So the way we reach Krishna, the way we reach Krishna's heart is to serve. And service can be anything, guys. Service can be at any point in your lives, even in the material world. There's a concept called Yukta Vairagya, right? And it means, in essence, to do everything with the mindset that it is for Krishna. You're helping someone cross the street. That is one of Krishna's creations that you've helped kept safe. You're picking up litter off of the beach. That is Krishna's environment that you're keeping clean. You're helping someone in distress. That is someone, a devotee. That is a soul that you are reaching. So, dear devotees, my sincere plea to you today is to keep this in mind. What would a devotee do? Mataji, how much time do I have left? Okay. Right. So I see we have some lovely questions. Thank you very much. Okay. So, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and why is he significant to us? Okay. Lovely, lovely question. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the form that Krishna has taken to suit this Kali Yuga age. So you've heard of Krishna, you've heard of Vishnu, you've heard of Lord Ramachandra. All of these are different forms that the Lord has taken over the different ages to help the devotees come. So there are different reasons that Krishna comes to help his devotees. To protect his devotees, to annihilate the miscreants, and to restore order to a society. Okay, very quickly, there are 4 yugas, 4 ages, many thousands of years. We are in Kali Yuga, which is the last of the 4 cycles. Think of it as the winter of the seasons, right? So in Kali Yuga, what's very prevalent is the quarrel and hypocrisy, which means that we have a lot of infighting, lack of tolerance, and a lack of sincere action. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually came to spread Nam Sankirtan. Nam Sankirtan is the practice of chanting the holy name. In the previous yugas, the previous ages, people used to have the fortitude and the health to do yagyas, to meditate for hundreds of thousands of years, to perform elaborate worship to Krishna. And they did that with that sincere heart and that expertise that was prevalent in those ages. We're a little bit simpler. We like to chant and dance. We need to be fully absorbed in something. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought us a very, very simple formula, the Maha Mantra, which that is the way to actually get closer, to absorb the Krishna consciousness, to get that devotion. So there's a phrase you can look up. I will tell you just now. Let me just get to the other ones. What would I give on authenticity? I think perhaps you mean, how do we increase authenticity? So this comes back to the perspective on Vaishnav mindset. Authenticity means that you do something without pretense, with sincerity. Honestly, being authentic, I assume in the aspect of devotional service, being authentic means that you be honest with yourself. And also you're willing to give an honest commitment to improving yourself. If you're speaking about authenticity in terms of personal relations, I think it's important to come from the aspect of kindness and tolerance. Be honest with yourself. Where are you at? Really look into why you hold those perspectives. And Srila Prabhupada has some very nice commentary, especially in the Gita and the Science of Self-Realization, about how you can move through these perspectives. Okay, the last question. As one of the leading youths in ISKCON Durban right now, what do you think temples, Namahatas, and even parents can do to get more youth into Krishna consciousness? Okay, right. So thank you for the question. I try to serve the youth. I think what you can do to get more youth into Krishna consciousness is lead where their interests are at. Growing up, I'll give an example. I've been fortunate enough to be blessed with parents who are very understanding. So when we wanted to take up kirtan, they encouraged us to do so. When we wanted to learn arti at home, they encouraged us to do so. If you find that the youth in question are not interested in coming to programs or kirtan or doing devotional service or worship, find a hook in the material world. If they're only interested in food, bring them and let them eat Krishna Prasadam at the programs. If they're only interested in music, show them DJ Dhoti's bhajan mixes. If they're not interested in Krishna consciousness at all, bring them to be around the Vaishnavas their age. Which is why it's important to come to temple programs. And I know the youth in ISKCON Durban have Sunday programs regularly. Those would be fun. They're very nice. They do some classes. And every Friday, IDYG in Chatsworth, they have youth sanghas. Free to enter, no registration. You just let them know you're pitching up and you can pitch up. Participate as much or as less as you want to. I think the key to getting more youth into Krishna consciousness, or rather devotional service in Krishna consciousness, is meeting them where they are at with the compassion that they haven't had the time and the same space that you have to develop the Krishna consciousness. And I'm assuming this is from one of the older devotees. The modern age is quite full of distractions. This little thing right here, someone should really take that away from us. But at the same time, I also don't know how I would survive. Half my life is done on this phone, on this technology. It's also, unfortunately, become our third space. A third space is a space that's not work or home, a space for gathering. And we need to recognize that a lot of the time, we don't have any other place to come together to be, to learn. So it's important to get kids off the phone and into the friends. I say lean into the friends. That's actually been the most fruitful thing for me. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you for such a beautiful class. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Youth ki. La Mercy Namahata ki. Gaur Premanande. Haribo.
Hare Krishna. And I must say, Bhaktin Shruti, that your class has been one of the most powerful classes I've ever heard. So well done to you. You truly are such a fine example to show the youth and even us, the older people in ISKCON. You know, it's so good to see a young girl, a young lady come out in front, give such an amazing class, and empower and inspire and motivate each and every one of us, which goes to show that we can learn from the young and the old. So well done to you and thank you. So once again, a huge round of applause to her. So as Shruti pointed out, I know everybody's waiting for the prasad, one of the highlights of our programs every evening. I just have two very important announcements to make, so please bear with me. Firstly, Sunday is Father's Day. So on behalf of the Lamersi Namahata, Mahaprasad Prabhu and Madhurya Mataji, we wish you all a very, very happy Father's Day to each and every one of you. Fathers, that is. A very, very happy Father's Day to y'all. May y'all have a lovely day on Sunday. Also, it is International Yoga Day on Sunday. So, as usual, many of y'all will know that the Food for Life Coastal always engages in wonderful service for the International Yoga Day. So this is happening at the Durban beachfront at the amphitheater. The Food for Life Coastal will be making meals, biryani, sumptuous prasad on that Sunday. So a humble request to please come through tomorrow at 1 p.m. The devotees are getting together to clean the vegetables for this feed. So a wonderful way to engage with the devotees and to associate with the devotees. This is happening tomorrow at 1. And thereafter, another wonderful opportunity on Sunday from 7 o'clock in the morning. Everyone's meeting to pack the biryani as well as take it to this wonderful event. So please do engage in the service tomorrow, Saturday at 1 to clean vegetables, and then on Sunday to help to pack. And I believe 9 o'clock is the time to be leaving. So we have just 2 hours to pack. So the more hands we have, we would really, really appreciate it. And the final announcement, next month, the 17th and 18th of July, is our annual tent campaign. And this is one of our highlights at the Mahasha. So we look forward to having y'all's wonderful association, y'all's support. We need y'all to come through and assist and be there with us. Lots happening, lots to look forward to Friday and Saturday. Ecstatic, melodious kirtan, vibrant kirtan will be happening Friday and Saturday. Sumptuous prasad, eloquent speakers, vibrant dancers, and if I can say so myself, Lamasi Namahasha puts together the most amazing drama performances, and this year will be no different. In fact, this year there's a little bit of a plot twist, but we're not going to be saying too much. It's all, it's part of the surprise. We are going to be surprising y'all on that Friday and Saturday. So we look forward to all of y'all being there with us. Pass the invite, pass the word to everybody. Come through, give us your suggestions as well. We're here to take ideas. Everything's planned, everything's set. We just need everyone's love and support. I do believe there's a raffle going on, Mataji. So after the program, Niren, Madhurya Mataji, even Cookie Mataji is there. They can tell you all more about it. I think there's a raffle book that we have, and it's just, how much is it? 50 Rand. So for just 50 Rand, you have the opportunity of winning an amazing gift. And it's 50 Rand, it's going towards our tent campaign, and putting together an event like this, it's not an easy task. It requires a lot of finance, it requires a lot of help, it requires a lot of hands, it requires a lot of planning. So, wherever you can come in and help with this, it would be very much appreciated. Even from a financial aspect as well, it's difficult. It's a mammoth program. We are opening it to the entire public of Tongaat and everywhere. So it's a big event, and it's over 2 days. So all y'all's love and support will be deeply appreciated. So thank you once again for coming to this evening's Namahata program. So we have another lovely young lady that's going to be performing Aarti today, and that's Bhaktin Nandini. So let's give her a round of applause. And we have all our youth seated here, Balkrishna, Xavier. Oh, okay. So we have youth seated here, and they are also going to be doing kirtan. And I'm loving the energy today because it's just youth everywhere that's taking over the Navahasha this evening. Hari Bol, well done. Keeping with our youth month and our youth day we had on Tuesday. And Shruti has just informed me that it's Nandini's birthday tomorrow. Hari Bol. So, Nandini, on behalf of the entire Namahasa, we wish you a very happy birthday for tomorrow. May Lord Krishna bless you abundantly, and may you attain everything your heart desires, and may you continue to grow in your spiritual path. And well done to everything that you've achieved thus far. So thank you once again to each and every one of you, and do take care. Go home safely. We look forward to everyone coming back tomorrow at 1 p.m. We'd love to have you all here, as well as Sunday. So may we please all rise for Aarti. And we can have another wonderful experience.
chan mega dadara dakhe nikai chan mega dadara dakhe chan mame gadadara बस छत्रदारा दिखाते आदेता बस छत्रदारा Ganta Bhate Madhur 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 Bhate Shankha Bhaje Ganta Bhate Madhur 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 Bhate Bhate Ganta Bhate Madhur 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 Bhate Bhaje Ganta Bhate Madhur 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 Bhate Shankha 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 Bhaje Ganta Bhate Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Nitai, Gaura Sundar Nitai, Gaura Sundar, Gaura Sundar, Jaya Nitai, Gaura Sundar Nitai, Gaura Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.